Hey YouTube, it's Soul Prime 13 coming at you with another Transformers video review. Today we're going to be taking a look at the MPG-16 Nucleon Quest Super Convoy, which is a black repaint of the Power Master Optimus Prime slash Jinrai. I missed out on the official release of the original colors, Jinrai Super Power Master Optimus. And I did end up getting one of the knockoff offerings, but it was not great. But I can say very happily that pretty much all the known issues are fixed on this version, so this will definitely be the one I actually mess with, and the other one will just kind of be a display piece. But we'll start here with the outer sleeve. It is pretty much the standard import sleeve for Takara Hasbro stuff. Just a black box with white lettering. Not really too much special here. And that is just going to get recycled. Here we have the actual box that is inside. And you can see we have some lovely pictures here of the figure. Got our MPG logo up top here, very reflective. On this side we have him in vehicle mode. We got our Japanese legal jargon. We got our logos and whatnot. On this side we have him in his super robot mode. I'm not sure if there's an exact term for that mode, but and then we have our various product shots here on the back. And that is it for the box. And now we can bring this guy actually into the frame. So there we go. And we also get our lovely instruction booklet. So there is that. And we do also get a nice little collector's card with some artwork there and a picture on the back with tech specs. So there we go. But yeah, here is the Super Convoy Nucleon Quest. We'll just call him Super Convoy, I guess. But yeah, for the most part, he is just a black repaint of the Jinrai. Or Super Jinrai, I think. I know it's not God Jinrai because I'm pretty sure that's the one that has the God Bomber combination. So, but yeah, and we do get some various accessories with him. We do get a little static figure of what is, I assume, still Jinrai. I really am not super familiar with all the Japanese stuff. We get the little Power Master that transforms into his engine. We do get two pairs of guns. We get smaller guns for the base robot and larger guns for the combined robot. And we do get one of each. And these do tab together, but we'll get into that. We get two blast effect pieces. We get the two shoulder cannons. And then we do get an alternate head with a bit more of a sharper facial expression. But we will also get to that in a bit. Real quick, while we're here in vehicle mode, we can store the guns. You take the smaller guns, and there's a tab here on the larger gun, a slot here on the smaller gun, and it will just tab together. Make sure I line it up properly, like so. And then you can just plug this port into the back of the trailer. So there we have our storage. There's a hair on there. And these can plug in to a few different spots. So they just have some posts. The main spot for them, though, is up here on these sort of pillars on the trailer. that will eventually become his arms. I just keep dropping everything, jeez. So there's that. And if you want, you can use these blast effects here. They do plug into all of the barrels, so there's not enough room to plug them into both barrels at the same time on these because of the big bulgy blast effect bit. But that is a thing you can do. But we'll come here and look at the cab itself. A very nice black cab, and that is one of the nice things about the black repaints is they tend to have a very solid color scheme, whereas normal ones definitely have a bit more broken up with a bit more color options. But you know, both are good in their own unique ways. And we do have pinned in wheels here. He does roll quite smoothly. There's that. And you can, as with the original version, open up the front of the cab. Get these panels out of the way. Just shift this open. There we go. And you can take the static little figure, and there's a little tab on the base. There's a slot right in here near that hinge. Not sure how well that's coming up, but I'm just gonna drop everything today, aren't I? And plug him in right there. And then we can close this up. And there he is in the driver's seat. Sort of hard to see with the dark red windows, but now you can have him driving himself. There we go. And then as for our little Power Master engine, he does have a bit of articulation. He does have ball jointed shoulders, so you can get some up and down and wiggle waggle with those. You do get some side to side on the leg. You do get a knee bend, and you can kick pretty far forward. And the foot can go back and forth. It does fold all the way up for the transformation. And yeah, the hip is just a ball joint. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it for his articulation. But to get him into his engine mode, you just put the arms down to the side, and then you want to bring the legs up and rotate them so that his knees are facing down. Then you're going to bring these up, and these tabs are going to go into this little slot right here. I'm not sure how well that's coming up, but it just goes in like that. And then you fold the foot down like so. Let me get this out of the way. So again, you just fold this up, plug it in, fold that foot down, and there you go. Then you can just push him right here into the grill. And one of my few issues I have with this is it doesn't always stay, so sometimes it'll like pop out, but yeah, see, there. It's not the most secure there, but it's not a huge deal. But I think that's about it for the vehicle mode. Well, I guess I should briefly talk about the trailer. We do get the sort of standing legs here that just rotate and fold away. You can see all the robot bits here underneath. We do get these opening doors back here, just for appearance really. There's not too much going on in here, but it's neat that that is there. Again, nice easy rolling wheels. Oh yeah, I do have the little shoulder caps plugged in that do come separately. The only thing I know that he doesn't come with on this version is the like little lightning effects, because I know that that was something the original one came with that he definitely does not have. So, but yeah, okay, I think that's everything. So we'll go ahead and put this trailer off to the side for a moment, and we will focus on the cab robot. So to transform him into robot mode, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to pull these panels back onto the arm. Then we do want to sort of wiggle this whole top part free, and we want to bring these legs down. We do want to untab them. They just kind of untab on their own. And then we're going to come here and we're going to sort of wiggle these arms loose right here. Just kind of want to bring them out and down until they come loose, and then we can sort of unhook them, and we're going to do the same with the other side. Right, we want to untab this little panel right here and like pull it up. That makes it a little easier to move things around. And we just kind of, there we go. Now we can just sort of bring these out to the side, and then we can bring his head assembly up, and then we're going to rotate that around, and then we can bring it back down and lift his head up so it is straight. Now before we close this up, we do want to flip down these silver pieces right here, like so. And there we go. And like so, so that they help form his torso. And then there are two little black panels here on the side that we also want to flip out. If I can get my finger in there. Actually, there we go. Get that out of the way instead. And that'll help, as you can see, fill that out a little bit. Alright. And now we can close this back up. And you can just leave the little dude there the whole time. Yep. See what I mean? Just shoots right off. Let's see. Just get that around his head. Make sure to tab this back in here. Not sure how well that's coming there. That tab, make sure that gets back in place. Then we want to bring this butterfly joint back, and there is a tab slot connection right here. Let's see if I can get that up in an angle. But yeah, there. It's a tab right there. Slot right there. Bring that around. Bring that around. And just, you'll feel it slide in. And then these pieces, you can just sort of push inward, like so. From that chest a little bit more. Rotate the waist 180. Then we want to take this bend in the arm and swoop it into place. Then we can open up this and fold out the hand. Close that back up. And I do wish these were a little bit tighter on this joint here, and that this connection was a little bit more sturdy, because sometimes it'll just kind of come undone. But it's tight enough that it doesn't just like flop around, at least. So anyway, now we're going to flip out that other hand. And finally we're going to come down here to the legs. You're going to grab his feet and pull them down a little bit. Going to come in here and fold out the toes. And fold out the toes, and then we can come here and fold in these trailer hitch pieces to smooth out the leg like so. And there we have him in his base robot mode. We'll go ahead and stick you back in, I guess. There we go. And yeah, it's a nice little figure. And probably the biggest thing that stands out to me here is the blue windshield, because it's obviously red on this side, and then it's blue on this side. It's a little weird, but overall, yeah, he looks pretty good. And aside from just those little bits with the arms that I mentioned, everything is nice and snug. The tolerances are good, and yeah, as you can see, like if you're being gentle with it, they don't just pop out. And you know, he passes a shake test. He's pretty sturdy. It's just they can come undone a little easily when you're messing with it, but it's not too severe. Um, we do have a nice head sculpt there with the bright blue eyes. It's interesting to see a black Optimus with blue eyes instead of red, but again, this one is supposed to still be a good guy. He is not Nemesis Prime or Scourge, so there is a reason for that. And we'll get into the articulation here. He does have a swivel for the head. He does have a up and down joint on his neck, so not a super wiggly ball joint, but you do still get plenty of motion. And yeah, he can look straight up. He can do a Superman pose if you wanted to. So there's that. It does get 360 at the shoulder. We do get all the way out like so, and there's also a soft ratchet there in the shoulder. So you can get that arm all the way up. We do get a bicep swivel. We do get a full elbow bend, even though it's only one joint, which is very nice. We do get a full wrist swivel, and we do have opening fingers. We do get the 360 at the waist. We also do get a side-to-side and forward and backwards ab crunch. Yep, see, there he goes again. Well, maybe not so much backwards, but we do get a very nice ab crunch, and again, very good side-to-side. So you can totally get some very dynamic poses there. Let's see if we can make him do the YMCA kind of thing. So you can definitely get some good poses there. You are just going to go off to the side for right now because you're being annoying. These hip skirts all come up like so. You do get a full forward kick. You do get full backward. You can do the splits, so you can get a nice high kick. He does have the thigh rotation. He does also have a adjustable hip joint, so there's that as well. Do get the double jointed knee, which one of them is technically for the combination mode, but you can use that to get plenty of extra motion in there. And he does have very dynamic feet, because you do get forward and back on this. You do also get a very significant ankle tilt, and there's also a little bit of a hinge. Well, actually, that's but yeah, you do get kind of a universal joint here. You do get very expressive motion in the feet, and I do believe that is everything for the articulation of the cab robot. So let's do a couple of quick comparisons. I didn't grab too many people, but here he is next to Big Convoy that just got released in Age of the Primes. So you can see how he stacks up against a different Japanese interpretation. And see, what else can I bring in? Don't really have too many other people here that I can bring in. I guess I'll just, since I have him here he is next to Masterpiece Prowl. So there's that. Anyway, now we need to discuss the trailer, so we're going to put him off to the side. And now we are going to bring in this big old thing. We're going to take these blast effects off. But let's also take off these guns. Alright, I should probably talk about the guns. We'll just pop one of these smaller ones off. So yeah, both guns are the same. They're just different sizes. They have the folding thing to reveal the peg, and if you want it this way, you do get the 2 tabs for the slot in hand. And yeah, you just can open up his fist. And yeah, there's just a little slot in there. You just put this in his hand. And make sure you line it up. get that pegged in and just close his fingers a little bit. And now he has his blaster. And as mentioned, all the barrels fit the blast effect, so you can have him doing a big old blam blam. And as you would expect, he can hold a gun in each hand. I think he can hold the bigger gun. I am a little curious, because I believe the tabs are the same size. So let's see here. If you want, you can give him both guns, and as with any tab and palm connection, they tend to just fall out at the drop of a hat. But yeah, you can give him both sides of rifles if you so choose. Okay, now that we've discussed that, now we can move on to the trailer. So, we already talked about the little fold-out legs, landing gears, whatchamacallits. So I know we have a base mode we need to go over, because one of the issues I had with my knockoff of the original colors is that his hips were so stiff I couldn't actually put him into the base mode. But we are going to do that real quick here, just to show it off, because yeah, that's a thing. That's a thing we do. Alright. It's been a while since I've done this, so, but I know we got to pull these out to the side. We kind of want to, hook these and unhook these. Bring these down. I think we fold these up, and I know we gotta untab these at the back here and bring these up, and then so we're gonna fold this up. And I do believe for the legs, I know this is the part that I couldn't do, but you want to fold up these hip skirts here. Still pretty stiff here, but then you put the legs all the way out to the side, like so. Make sure that doesn't catch. And then it wants you to tilt these feet pieces. You do need to pull on these wheels to untab it and bring this down, and then you're gonna point this down like so. Then you're going to rotate these out like that. And you're going to do the same on the other side. You're going to just pull these wheels a little bit to untab it. Bring this out. Move these down like so. And I believe for this mode we leave these panels like so. And then I know that the arms are supposed to untab, and I believe we stick them up like so. So we untab them, bring them around, and stick them up like so. And then, let's see, this is the part where I have trouble remembering. I'm gonna check the instructions just real fast so that I make sure I'm showing this right. Oh, okay. So, there is something I missed over here, and that would be these need to come out like so. We've got to fold this out and fold out these little ramps. Okay, I do think we bring these in so that these will sit flush, yeah. So we do want to bring this panel up like so that this will sit flush. This whole thing I'm going to bring up like so. Alright. So yeah, for this we want to fold this panel up like so, and just fold it into there, and it's going to come around underneath like so, and we're going to bring these up and tab them into place. This actually is supposed to stay overhead like this. Then you straighten this out, and I believe that is the completed base mode right there. Yes, that looks correct. Yeah, again, I really don't bother with base modes very often, so, but it says to put these guns, the shoulder cannons, here and here, like so, and then to take the guns and fold out these pegs and plug them onto the shoulders facing forward like so. So yeah, that is your base mode. But again, we are showing this off because that's part of the thing, not really something that I'm going to be doing much myself. But yeah, my knockoff, the legs couldn't even bend this high, they were so stiff, so I never was actually able to do that. So I haven't really had time to practice with it. Probably should have thought of that beforehand, but anyway, hold on. I'm getting ahead of myself. So now we're going to move this into combined mode. So first of all, we are going to fold this up and across the back like so. Then we're going to bring this whole armature back around, and these panels will fold down. And then these tabs here are going to plug in right here. So we just bring that down, get that secure in here. I'm not sure exactly the position that this is supposed to face, because I do believe, oh no, it only bends that way, so never mind. Yeah, because for some reason I thought it bent up. Anyway, we're going to bring these legs back down, fold those hip skirts back down, like so. But we've already got those feet folded down, so you're just going to straighten them out. Then we're going to fold this up and fold this back around, and it'll tab back in. Fold this up, fold it back around, and it'll tab in. So there is that. Then we can bring these arms down. I'm going to go ahead and put this shoulder cap back on, because I like the way those look. And then since I plug those up, I put the shoulder guns on his forearms. And then you want to open this up. There's like, and actually, there are, you can sort of see there are kind of like two panels you got to open up. So you open up this, and then you open up this. And then you rotate the hand out, close this, and then close this. And there you have his hand. And again, the full black does look a little better to me on this, because the other one he had both red and blue on his hands, and I think, like, can't remember if it came with alternate hands or if that was like an upgrade kit or something. But I thought it looked a little weird to have both colors on the hands. I'm used to having him have like a solid color for his hands. But that's just my personal opinion. But now we fold out the other fist, and then like I said, I like to put these on his wrists, or rather his forearms. Then we want to make sure that this panel right here, is all the way down. Then we want to fold up his head like so. Try and get these feet to position a little better. And there we have the trailer all ready. So now we're going to bring the robot back in, and we are going to take away his guns. And you basically are just going to turn him back into a vehicle mode, because it's basically just you take the cab and fold his legs behind his head. But we're going to go ahead and do that real fast. So I am going to... Alright, now that we have our cab robot back into his cab mode, make sure this is all squares up. So yeah, you really just want him all the way back into vehicle mode, and then you're just going to take these knees, and as everything starts untabbing, you're going to unhook both the knee joints here. Oh, I need to make sure I get that in the frame. So get both of those, and you do want the legs tabbed together. They just kind of came undone on me. But then you're just gonna bring it up around the back, and there are two tabs right here next to these ports that will tab into these little tabs on the smokestacks. And you're just gonna line those up and get those plugged in. Make sure that they actually go in. So everything starts being dumb and coming undone here. Oh, come on. It's because the camera's on. Because the camera's on. There we go. And yeah, you just want them like that. You're going to come here, and there are some grooves here. And these divots right here, say, let me, right here, and right here, those are where the smokestacks will slide in. So you just kind of want to get this up, line this up, and just start moving them in there. And he's coming untabbed. Doesn't normally give me this much trouble. Come on. Stop being a butt. Stop being a butt. There we go. And then you can just slide that in all nice and smooth there. Then you want to make sure that you fold this panel up on his belly. And then you just bring his head piece down in between his feet, like, come on, there we go. And then there is a tab under here that is going to go sort of like along this panel where his actual little head is. There's like this slot where that meets his robot chest right here. And you just want to push that down. Oh, yeah, that happens a lot. Come on, put your head back on. Alright. Trying to get him to cooperate. Come on. You weren't giving me this much trouble last time. Oh, there we go. Wasn't quite plugged all the way in. There we go. And from what I understand, the original version as well as the KO version, his head would not tab in, but as you can see, that is very securely tabbed in. And there we have him in his super mode. And for a comparison, here he is next to my KO of the original one. And as you can see, his head does not attach properly, which was the biggest irritation I had with him. Because, yeah. Oh, hey, look, you do that too. Get frick back in there. If this is a running gag, I am not laughing. Oh my god. Just stay. Stay. Okay. you back in there too. Okay. There we go. So that's how they stack up next to each other. And yeah, I'm glad that they fixed pretty much all the issues that were present in the initial release. From what I understand, they're gonna do a second batch or something that's gonna have the fixes in the original colors, but I'm not gonna buy another one. My regular one is just gonna be a display piece at this point. Let's see. Let's do one other comparison. Here we have him next to Combiner Wars Ultra Magnus. So there you have him next to a leader class figure. So there is that. Now, as far as the accessories, again, you can give him his guns. You can just, again, put them in the hand. And it's just the slot and palm connection. Come on. Oh, right. The actual slot here is actually on the hinge here in his hand. So make sure you're not accidentally putting it behind it into his palm, like I was just doing. Then you just kind of close his hands around it. And again, it's not the greatest connection. It's not the most secure, but it's there. So you also can store the guns on his back. You have some ports here if you want to just stick those on his back, and you can store the little guns, you can store the big guns, you can put the guns together and store all four. But there's that. And you do have these ports up here if you want to give him a shoulder cannon, like so. But we do still need to discuss one other accessory, and that is his alternate head. So as you might have caught while I was trying to plug his head in, his head does just slide right off. This is the head that comes installed, and here is the alternate head. See if I can get that to focus a little better. But it does have a slightly sharper expression, and again, they just slide on and off. It is actually a little too easy to swap them. The head will literally fly off during transformation, but I think I'm going to keep that sharper expression on him. But that is how you swap the heads. And now one more thing we need to talk about is the articulation in this mode. So his head can move up and down. I need to back this up a whole lot. His head can move up and down. It is also on a swivel, same as the smaller head. We do get a double up joint in his shoulder, so you get plenty of movement there. You get 360 of rotation. You do get a bicep swivel. You do get over 90 degrees at the elbow. Not as much as the smaller robot, but still quite a good bend. You do get a wrist swivel, and you do get more articulation in the hands here. The thumb is on a hinge, and the fingers are the index 3-finger split, and they each have a hinge and hinge. So you have that going for you. We do get a waist rotation, I think. Yeah, you can get full 360 with no collision issues. You can, again, lift these skirts up. You can kick that far forward. Not as far back due to the backpack, but you do get a very deep knee bend here with some hidden mechanical detail in the knee joint, which is super cool. I don't think, yeah, that's just a kneecap. You do get a ratcheted ankle tilt, which is very loud. And then you can kind of move these back and forth if you really want, but that's more of a transformation thing more than an actual posability thing. Oh yeah, we do get a very snug thigh swivel. And then again, the legs can come all the way out, but need to do that for the base mode. So, but we're going to go ahead and fold this up and give him another shoulder cannon. And we'll just, oh yeah, he also has, yeah, that was a thing. He does have butterfly joints, which is always a plus. You need to stop being a little brat. Stay. Well, there, now we have a cool pose for him to wrap up the video on. But yeah, it's really nice that they fixed all the various issues with this figure. Again, I'm probably not going to bother grabbing another round of the first one because I know the first batch was very flawed, and the knockoff I bought was also very flawed, but this one is not flawed, so that's going to just be it for me. And his head popped off. That was that little. I want you to look nice. But yeah, I mean, honestly, if you're still on the fence about getting this guy because of the issues, if you want to get this one, I would definitely recommend it. They have fixed pretty much everything that I was aware of. Like, apparently there was like arm breakages and the head not tapping in and all sorts of stuff like that. Would you stop being annoying? Ah! Okay, that one was my fault. Yeah, my big hands got in the way. But and again, there I believe it was actually confirmed that they are applying all the fixes to a second batch of the main figure. So if you haven't picked them up yet, wait for them to come back in stock, I guess. But yeah, quality control is definitely up in the air these days, but at the very least, this one does not suffer from it now. So yeah, I would definitely recommend the Nucleon Quest version, not only because he's got the cool black color scheme, and again, he is still the Autobot Jinrai, he's not a Nemesis Prime, but he does have that nice black color scheme, and again, he does have all the fixes. So this version specifically, I highly recommend, not so much the other ones. But yeah, I think that's about it for this review. I'm glad you all checked in to see me, and this is Soul Prime 13 saying transform and soul out.